Talkback.com, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Apple, Blueberry. Any way you want to get us, you're apt to find us. Hey, when next we meet, my guest, Frank Vernusio, analyst of policy and government, Vernusio Novak Report, co-host of the TV news show, The American Political Zone, looking at his latest, including America's Navy is Sinking. Frosty Wooldridge returns, author of How to Deal with the 21st Century American Woman, author of the book America on the Brink. And we'll be looking at his series, Immigration Shutdown Now. And now, let's go to Jim Kouri, former vice president, currently board member of the National Association of Chiefs of Police. He is a columnist for Examiner.com, New Media Alliance, and NewsWithViews.com. Served on the National Drug Task Force, trained police and security officers throughout the country. Jim Kouri, how are you? How are you?
Okay, good to talk to you guys.
You too, sir. Hey, and let me give you the little lineup here, okay, because I didn't have a chance to shoot you a heads-up email, because I did get your latest. First off, Jim, I want to talk about this better late than never, okay, about the Purple Hearts and all that, because really want to get to that. Then the shocker, Senator McCain and Levin urged the IRS to target the Tea Party and conservative groups. Wow. Then you got another one came out just recently, ISA, gaining traction. Are you ready for it, listener? Pakistan. Oh, my, they have the bomb, you know. All right. And then we'll get to some turmoil in Australia. And, you got lots of good stuff. But better late than never. The Fort Hood terrorist victims decorated today.
Yeah, that was a welcome change from what we usually get from the Obama administration, that they would actually admit that indeed those who were shot, and this is 6 years ago. This was 6 years ago, but they decided, or I should say, the Obama administration decided that they would allow the Defense Department to bestow the honor of the Purple Heart on those soldiers who were wounded, killed and wounded during Major Hassan's attack on his fellow military people, and the people who were civilians will get the American Freedom Award. That's the highest award given to civilians for a patriotic achievement. So,
hey Jim, before you go any further, okay, I don't know how many progressive left-wing radio shows you go on, maybe one or two. I can imagine that I'll play the part of a progressive talk show host, okay, after what you just said. All right? Are you ready?
Go ahead.
Isn't this great what this president is doing for those people? Isn't it wonderful that he has decided, no matter what, and all the, opposition I'm sure he's had to go through, and it only took him 6 years, but isn't this wonderful that finally whoever in the world said that it was workplace violence, that he has put that aside, and it is such an honorable part on his part. Could he get one too, perhaps? He was the commander-in-chief. All right.
He heard his big bell on the way to
Where
the
do you
war
think,
room.
what do you think turned the tide, so to speak, here for the president?
It was the Republicans. They're not going to get credit for it, but it was the Republicans. What they did was in the annual appropriations bill, that actually increased some military spending. They put this in that these servicemen and women and also the people who were civilians who were wounded. There were some who were civilians who were wounded working at the military base. That they should get these awards, and now they're fighting to get them the rest of the benefits. I thought originally I was told that they were going to get all the benefits, but apparently there seems to be some controversy as far as that, whether or not they will get the monetary and other benefits that come along with being wounded in combat. Listen, as far as I'm concerned, a lot of these soldiers, they're better off going out and finding their own medical people, because that VA hospital, maybe that's not such a good idea.
Well, he could have vetoed it, right? I mean, I know it was signed into law.
Oh, yeah, but he didn't want to do it for that little thing. He picks and chooses his battles. And I think that, and this is just my conjecture. I believe that his White House staff told him that if you would actually turn people against you when you want them to be for you, because of all the other things that he's been doing, the amnesty and the pipeline and all of the other things that have gotten a lot of Americans very upset. So he didn't want to. I don't think he wanted to add to that the fact that he would refuse to give soldiers who were wounded on a military base he would refuse to give them a Purple Heart and continue this fraud of calling it workplace violence.
But you got to see how he's a good guy, because it took him 6 years. He had until 2017 to do this. He could have put it on.
I think
Isn't he wonderful?
I think, we have to keep in mind, they're thinking 2016. They're thinking Hillary Clinton, who they're not too happy about running right now, because we're going to hear a lot of stuff coming out from the people in the military who remember Hillary Clinton as First Lady in the White House, and the things that she said about the military, and the things that she did to military people. For example, Colonel William Peterson, who had written a book and talked about how she cursed at military people who were supposed to be, part of their security detail.
Hey, and real quick, Jim, and add Buzz Patterson, too, all right? He was a Secret Service guy who wrote the book at that time. Yeah, both of them, Take down that GD flag. Tell those Marines to carry my suitcases. You're not doing a damn thing, are you?
Also with Chelsea. Boy. I understand Chelsea in a new book that's coming out. I read that Chelsea used to call them pigs. And they objected to that. One of them said, we protect you, And, this is a family that did not hold people who were in military service or in law enforcement in high esteem. And I don't think their stripes changed that much.
Well, today I mentioned, that Hillary Doc is getting ready to announce this weekend officially on, the wonderful media, Facebook or Twitter or one of those. Anyway, and you might want to check out the International Business Times, okay? International Business Times comes up with a story about 2010, how she was, as a Secretary of State, pressuring the Colombian government to protect their labor organizers, blah, blah, blah,
I
blah,
read
blah.
That today. I read that
$100
today.
$100 million put into her Clinton Foundation from the certain oil people over there, and she changed her mind. Isn't that wonderful? So you keep that in mind there. If you don't get your Purple Heart under Hillary Clinton, just get a committee to raise some money. Apparently that's all it takes. Boy, the same old. Nothing ever changes, does it?
No, and nothing will change if she wins the presidency. I think Americans have more to fear from her than they do from Barack Obama, because she has a machine that is twice as crafty as Obama's. You're talking about Podesta. You're talking about the lawyer Kendall, David Kendall.
Ikes or whatever his name is,
You're talking about Carvel. You're talking about all of these thugs that worked for Bill Clinton, and all they did really was harass people and threaten people, and especially women. You know, this it's ironic that she's running on the platform. Her main thing is about being a woman and about caring for women, and she was married to the biggest masher that Washington has ever seen. Mm-hmm. It's just, you can't make this stuff up.
Well, and the first 4 years of Obama, you know, and he gets reelected. So it's not my fault, you know, but it's sure the hell the fault of a lot of American people that haven't been paying attention. Now, I didn't have a chance to check out this story because I was on the air. The one that you just released is still dripping here. The ink is wet. But just looking at the headlines and the fact that I know Tom Fitton Judicial Watch is behind this, I'm going to go this way, Jim. Let's talk about these two Republican SOBs. Oh, wait a minute. One of them's a Republican. One of them's a Democrat. All right. So, okay, how about these two SOB Congress people? How's that? Carl Levin, Democrat, Michigan. John McCain, Republican, Arizona. We'll have about a minute and a half to take a break, but we'll stick on this one for a little bit. My goodness. Go ahead.
Well, you know, they finally found some of Lois Lerner's emails, the ones that disappeared. Well, they suddenly reappeared, and you know that's a story in itself.
Yeah.
What went on with that? But it seems that there were emails between her and other people, some in the White House, some also the Inspector General, and people that she was talking to on a regular basis. And apparently there were two senators, Senator Carl Levin from Michigan, who's a Democrat, and Senator John McCain, the pseudo-Republican from Arizona. They were not happy with the Tea Party people, and they were not happy with a lot of these conservative groups. In fact, John McCain was very upset with the Supreme Court's decision on Citizens United. That's David Bossi's organization, Citizens United.
He says he was upset the IRS was not reining in political advocacy groups.
Right. And so, you know, it was, and we have to remember, it's called the McCain-Feingold Act. So he's always had a bug. He's always
all right,
had
now
a
then,
bug
Jim.
for,
okay, hold it right there. We'll get back,
sure.
And I want to hear more about this rhino. That upsets me more than, you know, the Carl Levin. I mean, he's a Democrat. Okay, I can understand, you know, a Democrat wanting to use the IRS to attack Americans. I really go out on a limb, don't I? Anyway, and McCain, believe it or not, this doesn't surprise me. And here he is running again. What is it, the 16th term? No, only the 6th, Chuck. Oh, okay. We'll be right back with Jim Kouri. It's Examiner.com, newswithviews.com. We'll also tell you how to sign up to get his free reports. Free, I said, in just a little bit. Be right back.
The Showroom at South Point presents illusionist Rick Thomas. Mind-gripping effects that will have you mesmerized. April 10th through the 12th. Is it magic? Illusion. Is it real? Tickets are vanishing fast. Conjure yours now by the magic of going online at southpointcasino.com or charge by phone 702-797-8055. Rick Thomas at the South Point.
I want to start out with some of my songs that go back to my very first recording.
The Showroom at South Point presents Crystal Gale. April 24th through the 26th. Tickets available now. In person at the South Point box office. Online at southpointcasino.com. Or charge by phone 702-797-8055. Don't miss Crystal Gale at the South Point.
You order a glass of your favorite Cabernet, fresh asparagus, hollandaise on the side, a filet, medium rare. You unfurl your napkin with a flair, close your eyes, and prepare to listen. Ah, there it is. The sweet music you long to hear. The sizzle. The sizzle of a Ruth's Chris steak.
The most magnificent corn-fed prime beef, broiled to perfection at 1800 degrees. Some call it a sizzle. We call it an anthem.
As the waiter approaches, you think, is this one mine or that one?
Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. Like Ruth always said, life's too short to eat anywhere else.
Make a reservation online at ruthschris.com or by calling 800-544-0808.
We are perfectionists. We do it right and don't stop until the job is done. We build commercial zero-turn mowers with maneuverability, power, and comfort. Who are we? We are Kubota. Now, during our More Power to You sales event, you can get long-term financing as low as 0% APR on new commercial-grade Z700 series mowers. For more information or to find a participating dealer, visit Kubota.com.
Hi, I'm Dr. Parthenia Grant. Tune into my show, Divine Love Talk, where you will learn secrets to longevity and health, ways to move into oneness, discover powerful tools to gain victory over self-sabotage, and get enlightened about relationships. So tune in to CRN for Divine Love Talk right here on CRN Digital Talk Radio.
So tune in to CRN1 for Divine Love Talk, Mondays, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 Eastern, right here on CRN Digital Talk Radio.
Everybody's talking at me.
My guest, Jim Kouri, we are talking about his one hot-off-the-presses, Senator McCain and Levin actually urged the IRS to target the Tea Party, conservative groups, and thank God for Tom Fitton, Judicial Watch, once again. That's who we ought to elect for president. Not Tom Fitton, not Larry Klayman, but just Judicial Watch. Commander-in-Chief, Judicial Watch. Boy, then we'd be perfect. All right, go ahead and continue, please.
I was saying, when you look, and for anyone interested in reading it, it's up on the Examiner, or they could write to me at copmagazine@AOL.com and just write subscribe in the subject line, and I'll shoot it out to them. But I selected some paragraphs, but I also have links to the entire batch of, I think it's about close to 1,200 pages of documents that were released to this case it's Judicial Watch, and also Freedom Watch, which is Klayman's organization, also has some of the documents as well.
Hey, Jim, real quick, when I mentioned actually Larry Klayman, and then you brought him up again.
Yeah.
I hope we have time. If we don't get anyway, there's an old one you did March 25th. Clinton family facing RICO racketeering case that we ran out of time last time.
Yeah.
Very interesting, and so anyway, I just want to put that on the back burner there. Okay, go ahead.
Sure. But I was reading through the pages, and it struck me that they were talking. This is emails going back and forth from these people, and they're talking about Tea Party members and conservatives as if they're criminals. In fact, they use the term, and I have the paragraph in my article where they write about sending out a bolo. Now, a bolo is a law enforcement term. It means be on the lookout.
Yeah.
And they were using that terminology to talk about the Tea Party. And it struck me that these people view the Tea Party as criminals. And maybe that'll help people understand the feeling of this administration towards Americans who don't agree with their political philosophy. And you mentioned before the break, John McCain has been claiming to be a conservative since I can remember. And I find nothing in his background that would indicate he's a conservative. If anything, he is a liberal who pretends to be a Republican. And the fact is that he is behind this with Carl. Now, Carl Levin, I never cared for Carl Levin. Sometimes I used to tell my wife I like to knock those glasses off the stove. Yeah, Carl Levin, I understand, but for John McCain to talk about the Tea Partiers and conservatives the way he does when there's no cameras around or no microphones around is really something, And I wish the people in Arizona would start looking at it and seeing that maybe if they want a conservative, they should actually vote for a conservative, elect a conservative.
Yeah, I've always mentioned frequent times I've mentioned how I think some voters get hooked on these people like McCain. Oh, he's been in there so long, and so he can get things done for the state of Arizona. If we need a new dam, or if we need the water, if we need to do this or whatever, blah, 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 the highway's fixed, he can take care of it because, he's got a lot of clout. Well,
the only flood he brought in was the illegal aliens.
Yeah, and
I think bring any water in. He brought in the illegal aliens.
You've heard me. Go ahead.
No, I mean, the guy's been on the wrong side of just about every issue there is. He reminds me of LBJ and those types where they could be hawks. But basically, on in their domestic agenda, you can't tell the difference between them and the liberals. In other words,
and a sparrow, a hawk and a sparrow.
Right.
Hey, Jim, gotta go. Gotta take that break. I'll let you come back and wrap it up here. McCain, Levin. Oh boy, that's might be the most shocking thing I've heard today. Really, Jim Kouri. Hey, go to Cop Magazine at AOL.com. Just put in there free, and you'll be getting these excellent reports. And if you want this one, mention it to him when you email him at copmagazine at AOL.com. We will be right back.
Rabbits are cute. Squirrels too, till they ruin your garden, feasting on your plants. Get yourself some Ortho Animal Be Gone. Animal Be Gone uses ingredients that little critters are naturally repelled by, but it won't hurt them. And the no-stink formula works without smelling horrible. Animal Be Gone from Ortho. We don't hurt them, we just chase them. Guaranteed. Learn more about how Animal Be Gone lives up to its name at Ortho.com. Use only as directed.
Have you ever considered adding a home security system but thought it would be too expensive? Here's the good news. There's never been a more affordable time to help protect your home, valuables, and your loved ones. You can now get a $100 Visa card from Protect Your Home, your authorized ADT dealer, with the installation of a new ADT monitored system. Here's even better news. Your new system, worth $850, is free. You pay just a $99 installation charge and purchase monthly monitoring for less than $2 a day. Call Protect Your Home today at 1-866-669-8954. That's 1-866-669-8954. Get the peace of mind that comes with owning an ADT monitored system, plus a $100 Visa card from Protect Your Home. Call now, 1-866-669-8954. That's 1-866-669-8954. 36-month monitoring contract required. General terms and conditions apply. Visit protectyourhome.com/terms.
When you really want Italian food, you've got to go to Columbo's. Columbo's Italian Steakhouse and Jazz Club, Colorado Boulevard, Eagle Rock. It's that little neighborhood place you wish was down the street from you. It's springtime in the Southland, and the yucca filamatusa are in bloom, and so is the hunger and thirst for good times. Palate-pleasing, mouth-watering steaks, yes! Neptune's gifts of the freshest fish direct from the seven seas, oh yes! Columbo's delectable Italian family specialties that shame the competition, yes! Jazz every night, check! All at such reasonable prices, yes, yes, yes! And might I add one more yes? Thank you. Let us not forget their award-winning meatballs, oh yes! Columbo's. It's more than the stuff of urban legend. It is that good. Columbo's, because it really is that little neighborhood place you wish was down the street from you. Columbo's. Yes. Manja.
What are you going to do with your old car? You can try selling it, you could junk it, or you could donate it to Heritage for the Blind. Your car will be towed away for free, and your donation is tax deductible. Just call 1-800-785-9618. Heritage for the Blind accepts cars, vans, trucks, and boats. It doesn't matter if your vehicle runs or not. It will be towed away for free, and you'll be supporting those that need help. Heritage for the Blind is a nonprofit organization that helps the visually impaired live fuller lives. Call right now to donate your car, and as a special thank you for calling, you'll receive a free 3-day vacation voucher to many exciting locations. Call Heritage for the Blind right now, 1-800-785-9618. Donating is easy, and your vehicle is towed away for free. Plus, you'll get a free vacation voucher. Call now, 1-800-785-9618. That's 1-800-785-9618.
Hi, this is Bill Martinez. Join us every Monday through Friday from 9 to noon Eastern when we're covering the issues that matter most to you. From Obamacare, the latest from Russia, the Middle East, Israel, immigration, and more. We're talking with the policy and political experts so you can be better informed. It's Bill Martinez Live, brought to you in part by my friends at Good News Tax Relief. Let them help you get your peace of mind back by dealing with the IRS for you. Proven experience. Proven results. Call 800-255-7500.
Everybody's talking at me.
CRN, Chuck Wilder with Jim Kouri, board member, National Association Chiefs of Police, and discussing McCain, Levin urging the IRS to target the Tea Party and conservative groups. And any final comments on this? Well, let me just say real quick, Obama refusing to turn over Lois Lerner's emails. We brought that up before. Didn't want to go after her on the same day that he announced they weren't going to turn them over. They went after Mendez because he made Obama mad about Cuba and all that stuff.
Yeah. This is Chicago politics brought to the national scene. And if anything, that's the last thing we needed in the United States, to bring Chicago to Washington. Washington was corrupt enough. We didn't need to bring in the professional gangsters.
We go after our enemies. Yes. All right. Let's look at this one here. Are you through with all the comments on McCain there?
Well, I just want people to remember when we. April 15th is fast approaching, all right? Just remember what organization we're giving all this money to. An organization of thugs. Their behavior is thuggish. Their terminology for talking about Americans who just want to voice their opinion, put out a bolo on them.
Mm-hmm. Remember all the training films where they were using... Remember the training films that the Army was using against Christians and Tea Party groups, and they had to get rid of that? I'm telling you, boy, this impeachment would be wonderful, but it's too late now. Now listen, but he is doing great on that war that he never, the war on those folks. He doesn't want to use the word Christians, those citizens. He has about 5 different words for the word Christian. But now, ISA, you say, is gaining traction in nuclear-armed Pakistan. Wow, that's not too good. That's not very cheery news there, Jim.
No, everyone's talking about Iran, and rightly so. The Iranians apparently this so-called deal that everybody was celebrating doesn't exist. If you read, again, I always urge people to read the foreign newspapers. Or believe it or not, Iran has a number of newspapers that are printed in English. And, you have to take everything with a grain of salt, and you got to do that here with our media too. So, but you read some of those articles, and you realize that these people were talking over each other. They weren't talking to one another because their fact sheet, the Iranians' fact sheet, which they published, and the Americans' fact sheet that was published by the White House, it's on the White House website, are two different things. It was like they were talking about two different treaties. So while they're doing that, we find out that intelligence officials believe that ISIS is already in Pakistan. Now, the reason that should concern a lot of people is the fact that Pakistan already has nuclear weapons.
Mm-hmm.
They don't need to build they don't have to worry about actually creating a bomb. They already have it. And ISIS has really started to make a dent in Pakistan. They just this week they attacked a convoy, a military convoy, and they killed several soldiers and they wounded others. And ISIS is now active in recruiting people from the Taliban. Some of the Taliban leaders are leaving the Taliban to go with ISIS. ISIS has also got allegiance from the Al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula. They have allegiance from Boko Haram in Nigeria. They have allegiance from Ansar al-Sharia. That's the group in Libya. So they are really, really expanding their territory. And the United States, we're still trying to get a deal with Iran, and Iran don't have the bomb yet. These guys do have the bomb.
Now, the good news, Jim, is that these top-notch, well-educated, I can't think of the adjectives. Let's just say super duper human beings are telling us that ISA can't be more of a problem for the Pakistani government than its various people, like Al-Qaeda and the Taliban. ISA, wait a minute. Isn't ISA doing a hell of a lot more damage than Al-Qaeda and Taliban, number one? Yes. But these super intelligent females here, okay? Valerie Jarrett and Susan Rice, they're the ones that are telling us, don't worry about it. Oh, boy.
Well, they're the ones that told us don't worry about ISIS when they first started becoming active in Syria. And then we saw them move into Iraq. Now they're moving into Lebanon. They're already present in Libya. They're already present in Yemen. They're expanding, and they're getting a lot of recruits. It's becoming a serious problem. I don't think we're being told the truth in this country about how many Americans are going over there to fight. I know that the British, they claim that they have the highest number of Brits, and they estimate it to be about 1,000.
Probably true.
British citizens fighting over there. Yeah. But nobody knows how many are over there fighting against the United States, against their own countries.
Okay. Hey, Jim, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take a call, and then I want to get to the family, Clinton family, and those RICO charges. Want to talk about that a little bit. Oh, we did. Oh, okay. We lost that call. All right. So, all right. Do you have that in front of you right now, or do you want me to hold off on it for a moment? On the RICO. Jim? Did we lose? All right, so we lost the call and we lost Jim. Oh, okay. Now, how lucky am I going to be? Which one are we going to get back, or are we going to get both of them back? I mean, this is, but you know, this, all right, nobody ever elected Valerie Jarrett. Okay, we got both of them. All right, let's go to Al. Jim, Al wants to talk to you. A couple of questions. Come on in here, Al.
How you doing, Chuck? I want to wish you guys a good weekend. Couple of questions. One for Chief Kouri. One's kind of outside of his purview, but I want to get his opinion on it.
Wait a minute. Hang on a second.
Hello?
If you're going to discuss water and Corona,
no.
I don't want to do it.
No.
Okay, go ahead.
No water and Corona.
All right.
No. The question I have for Chief Kouri is that I mentioned this before. Would you say that 99% of cops and 99% of civilians didn't shoot anybody this year?
Yeah, I would say that, sure.
Well, how come the news media is not pointing that out? They always focus in on these vignettes and extrapolate across the total, but they don't give you the overall figure. Now, why is that? They're trying to make the police and civilian gun owners apparently look bad if you don't give us the full story. What do you think?
Oh, sure. Listen, first of all, the media, they're playing this up because this is the type of story that gets people's attention.
Right.
It's never about just shooting. There's all of these side issues. There's all of these other issues that they bring up. For example, race. They could play the race card. They could talk about police militarizing. That's a familiar theme.
It's all negative stuff.
They are able to really talk about a lot of issues based on this one incident, and it avoids pointing out what a failure this administration is, because let's be honest, this administration cares about, I'm talking about the media, they care about this administration and making this administration look good.
Oh, of course.
Which is a difficult job. It's difficult to make these.
Well, listen, I wanted to point that out, that without the overall picture, you'd think that policemen were shooting people down in droves, and it's not true. Out of 600,000 policemen in the country, very few are going to shoot anybody this year, and they never put that perspective on it, which means they're not doing their job. One other question
Well, that's what they're talking about now at the NRA convention. I believe it's on right now.
Right.
They've invited a bunch of people. In fact, we have a representative from the Chiefs Police Association there. And the fact is that shootings by police of civilians, and again, most of them are good shootings. We're not talking about shooting someone in the back, we're talking about good shootings. They have dropped significantly over the years.
If there are 600,000 policemen in this country, and last year they shot 51 black men in the course of a crime, the statistics aren't there. They're an extreme rarity. Let me get on to my other topic here. This has legal stuff, but it's something that's not gone into enough. They said the Supreme Court is about to rule on gay marriage. Now, one guy was saying that the Supreme Court should not rule pro or con, because that would then put them in the decision-making process of what is or is not a marriage. And the next thing is they'd have to go to polygamy. So that means the three of us could get married then. So what do you think that they should actually not even be putting their hands on this thing?
And Jim, before you answer that question, I had a guest on yesterday or the day before that pointed out 2 of the Supreme Court justices have already performed gay marriages. Go ahead.
Oh, I didn't know that. know that.
Kagan is one. I can't remember the other one.
Well, I think one guy that prepared a brief said that they should not be ruling pro or con, because that then puts them in the driver's seat, and they could have any configuration, mothers and daughters, 3 men or whatnot. They should not be touching it.
It should be up to the states. Each state should. The fact is that they've been using the federal courts to overturn states in which, for example, California. A lot of people don't know this. California. They voted down gay marriage in California. In fact, most of the votes against it were cast by blacks and Latinos. Only 45% of whites voted, for gay marriage, that they did not want to ban gay marriage. So, the fact is that the federal courts have been reliable for overturning state laws. Now, they should just get their nose right out of the business.
Right.
All right? They should be sending these back to the state courts. But, listen, we should have settled this a long time ago. And we have a bunch of cowards on the Supreme Court, including the so-called conservative ones. They do not want to make a decision that leaves no doubt as far as where the country stands on the subject of gay marriage.
Well, I guess that's it. The main thing was this thing with this overall picture, and Chuck and I have complained about it for years, that they focus in on that 1% of miscreants and leave out the 99%. You could do that with anybody. You could do it with talk show hosts and make them all seem like they're bad, when in fact it's 1%, and they're doing it right up to present.
That's true. Yeah, sure. I mean, I would never put Chuck in the same category with Ed Schultz. That guy,
maybe John Dillinger, but not Ed Schultz.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, you guys.
Okay.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Hey, Jim. Thank you, Al. What do you think about when they said "Stay away, Al"? At first I thought, wow. Oh, and then I realized it was Reverend Al, and that was a message from the family. South Carolina police shooting victim Walter Scott's family said, "We don't want you here, Al. We don't want another Ferguson type of circus." They went on, and then he says, "Oh, well, I had other plans." Yeah, sure you did. I bet I wonder if he cashed in that airplane ticket, or does he have his own private jet? Wow.
Well, Richard Clark, he's a sheriff in Wisconsin, and actually Milwaukee County, Wisconsin. He was on Fox News yesterday, and he had an excellent question. Why is Al Sharpton still walking around? We have people locked up in jail who owe a lot less than he owes in taxes, and he's still walking around.
According to Obama,
I don't understand that.
According to President Obama, Al Sharpton is the voice of the black people. That's his words. All right.
Well,
he just decided it, I guess.
Yeah, I guess overnight. The thing is that the guy is as crooked as a politician. And, the fact is that he has been cited so many times for being a liar and for being caught and being deceitful, beginning with the Tawana Brawley incident and going to the Korean grocery store riots and all of the other shenanigans he's been involved in. And he owes $4 million in taxes. That's a lot more than Ron Isley owed, and Ron Isley went to prison for 5 years. Ron Isley from the group, the Isley Brothers. The
Isley Brothers. Yeah. You know what? Coming up on our final break here, I'm going to ask you about a gentleman that I plan to have on Tuesday, and he discusses police shootings and all this. He is a former officer, and he is a founder of Be Someone Incorporated, and he talks about, he tries to teach blacks, especially youths, how not to get shot, how, don't be so stupid. Anyway, his name is Orrin Hudson, a former police officer, and I just wondered if you'd ever heard of him. Orrin Hudson, Hudson. I'll talk to you more about that on the other side of the break. Jim Kouri, it's Examiner.com, NewsWithViews.com, Top Magazine at AOL.com. Sign up for his free newsletter. Be right back.
Kaanapali Beach Hotel, Maui's Hawaiian Hotel.
Located in the heart of Maui's premier resort, Kaanapali Beach Hotel is officially recognized as Hawaii's most Hawaiian hotel and the #1 best value in Hawaii. With a range of accommodations and affordable dining options, this is the ideal setting to turn Hawaiian dreams into lifelong memories. Live Hawaiian entertainment every evening, free year-round children's programs, weekly arts and crafts fairs, welcome breakfast, and departure kukui lei ceremonies add to the value. Swim in the whale-shaped pool. Indulge in the fabulous spa and hotel salon. Enjoy Hawaiian hospitality at its best at the Kaanapali Beach Hotel. Call 800-262-8450 or go to kbhmaui.com. That's kbhmaui.com. Aloha.
Kaanapali Beach Hotel, Maui's Hawaiian Hotel.
Hiring caregivers is so expensive that many people can't afford it. So loved ones have to do it themselves. AARP caregiving expert Amy Goyer.
One of the most common questions I get is, how can I get paid to take care of my family member? Generally, for most people, it's just a matter of survival. Not many people can afford to not work while they're taking care of a loved one. But there are some sources of income that can help pay for caregivers. One are veterans benefits. Veterans who were in active duty during wartime and meet all the other asset and expense requirements may be able to get something called Veterans Aid in Attendance and housebound benefits.
In some states, Medicaid will pay family caregivers who provide care at home, but Medicare does not. It pays for short-term physical and occupational therapy. Another option is long-term care insurance if the policy covers home care. But some plans only cover assisted living and skilled nursing and pay agencies directly. That's Primetime Focus, brought to you by AARP. I'm Aileen Ellis.
Hi, I'm Dr. Bob Marshall, Ph.D., host of Healthline. Join me live to get your questions answered and hear the latest breakthrough information for you and your family. This month, our Cleanse LX is on special. This has been studied for its extraordinary ability to bind a wide variety of toxins in the gastrointestinal tract, especially those that have dicarbonyl chemical structures or that bind to calcium-dependent binding sites. Research suggests it doesn't bind beneficial nutrients because of its unique structure. With the ever-increasing amount of toxins in our food and our environment, here's a practical, inexpensive way to mitigate the problem. Buy 2 bottles and get the third one free. Call 800-370-3447. That's 800-370-3447.
Listen to Helpline daily at 2:30 p.m. Pacific, 5:30 p.m. Eastern on CRN.
Everybody's talking at me.
My guest, Jim Kouri, board member, National Association Chiefs of Police, and not enough time to get to the RICO one. Again, Jim, boy, I think I'm going to have to do that as the very first one next time we get together, because I'm definitely going to do it one of these days.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, didn't get to the new poll.
It's going to be our next
Oh,
president.
yeah. New poll on illegal aliens that Obama doesn't want you to see. I covered that one pretty well the other day. There are 83% say don't give illegals any benefits. You got to be American citizens. And in Australia, the citizens are clashing with socialists over radical Islam. Before the break, I was asking you if you'd heard of this guy, Orrin Hudson, former police officer.
No, I got to look it up. There are a number of people out there that are trying to get police trained in alternative methods.
Well, see, his alternative is.
Go ahead.
Yeah,
Hello?
His alternative is he's trying to. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me, Jim? Okay,
Yes,
his alternative is to the youth. See, and he's got all these like 10 different things. And let me tell you, one of them is Think Kenny Rogers. Know when to hold them and know when to fold them. Know when to walk away and when to run. The other, number 5 is encourage and respect authority, because you've got to learn, to respect these police and, stop blaming other people and stuff like that. And one other thing here, Jim, if you get a chance, try to check out a video on the San Bernardino County Sheriff's. I don't know if you heard about it, but, there was a NBC, Los Angeles news chopper that followed the whole thing. The guy was in a car, then he was on a horse, fell off the horse. They tasered him. He put his hands out, put them behind his back, and then it became that he got kicked 17 times, punched 37 times, kicked in the head, and I'm thinking, wow. And the reason you're not hearing about it, the guy was white, okay? But they do say this is worse than the Rodney King beating. But you might want to check that one out. It's a pretty interesting video.
I will. You know, there are a lot of incidents, and the reason that they become big stories is because they're rare. You know, people don't think in those terms. They take one incident and they say this is, you know, like, for example, Juan Williams from Fox News Channel. Seems like a nice guy.
Yeah.
But, you know, he always uses a broad brush to paint law enforcement, but he gets very upset if you do that when it comes to African Americans. If I tell him, for example, that African Americans are responsible, they're only 14% of the population, but they're responsible for 52% of the violent crimes, he gets very upset.
Doesn't want to hear it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, let me ask you this, because we're out of time, unfortunately. But you know the thing in South Carolina, was it? Yeah. I wonder, where did the guy get the T-shirt and the bullhorn in such a short notice?
I don't know.
You know what I'm saying? Boy, they're prepared, aren't they? Hey, Jim, thank you very much, and look forward to our next visit. And I may give you a call next week or whatever, and just talk your ear off a little bit. Jim Kouri, hey, sign up for all his releases. Go to Cop Magazine at AOL.com and just put on there free, or I want to know about McCain or whatever, and he'll get the information to you. And read his articles at Examiner.com. Thank you, Jim.
Thanks a lot, Chuck. Bye-bye.
Hey, thank you. When next we meet, America's Navy is sinking. Frosty Wooldridge's going to be talking about immigration shutdown. The other guest is Frank Vernucio. Hey, thank you very much, Paul Stern. You did a pretty good job today. A little bit more training and you're going to have it down perfect. And thank you for listening. And slower traffic, please keep to the right.
That was your theme.
Are you tired of hearing your favorite talk radio show sound like this? What if you could hear your favorite shows in crystal clear, high-definition digital sound? Well, with CRN Digital Talk Radio's 6 channels of high-definition radio, you can now hear all of your favorite hosts like you've never heard them before in CRN HD. The difference is amazing. Catch your favorite political hosts like Dennis Prager, Tom Hartman, Barry Farber, and so many more. Entertainment and lifestyle programming like The Robert Conrad Show, The What's Cooking Show, and The What's Cooking on Wine Show, all